However, when you evaluate the numbers, the amount of money collected by tax collection, $382,000 estimated in the budget, on a longer term period does not have a grand effect on the overall fiscal health of the town in 1 year increment. It will affect us next year in that we would not have the sales tax, but the sales tax this year is $130,000. So it has the ability, that can be absorbed. There also, if construction of various elements move forward as proposed, there won't be as much capital funding in future years, but there will be maintenance issues, that we'll have to take on that begin this fiscal year and will continue forward. But to do it for a single year and would have a limited impact on the total finance. That is not a policy answer. That's a fiscal question answer.
That's exactly what I asked, and I appreciate you saying that.
Any other comments before we vote? Okay, let's all in favor of the Flowers motion to adopt the budget as is with no tax being levied. Please raise your hand. Okay, we have three.
That does have the caveat of having the $1,100.
Okay, all opposed?
Just for
Yes.
All
the
opposed?
minutes.
Oh,
Okay. 3-2, motion carries.
I want to reiterate that was a budget adoption of a zero property tax fiscal year 2009-2010 with the approved budget as presented with the board of adjustment, $1,100 added to the board of adjustment.
Yes.
And that will come out of our fund balance. I mean, that was my question.
That's where it's going to come.
And that is for 1 year only. And I think due to the economic terms, I think that's why I voted that way.
Can I ask one thing? I think the historical committee was looking for direction on the highway markers. They were looking for a yes, go ahead and present a plan, or no, stop, don't present a plan.
I would like to make a recommendation to council that we consider asking staff to work with them as time permits to try to get some kind of a presentation that would meet the budget finance committee's requirements. If the time permitted, to go ahead and do 2 of those and be brought back before council at another time. Is that what you're looking for? I know that you say you've got a lot going on, but sometime during the next fiscal year to work with them, because I think that is something that has been a priority for the historical committee for about 5 or 6 years. And I would like to see them go ahead and move forward with that. If it's something that's DOT, perhaps if we get a new planner and once you have that, perhaps it's something that the new planner could work with them on. Because I don't think it's something that needs to be done right away, but I think they would really like to move forward with that rather than waiting a whole nother year.
Council,
Councils.
with that form of recommendation or consensus or something.
So they have
a
to
plan for 2, so he's saying a plan for 2 markers a year?
2 markers for this coming year, and once they do one, if they would have the setup costs paid and more done. But I think if you could assist them with that, I mean, I know as far as the costs, $3,000 is not a lot of money, but if we're trying to keep a zero balance and whatever, but I think it's the time that you're more concerned about is the staff time. If you can do that as time permitting with staff, that's the concern. As you see it coming along, or if there's any way I can assist working with any of that, I'll be happy to.
consensus from council that to
Fine with me.
investigate that further.
Yes.
Didn't the finance committee direct the history committee to come up with a plan?
Well,
They've suggested
they
it.
suggested it.
suggest-
They suggested it.
And I think the committee has really attempted to try to do a plan,
And
but
that's,
they
and
just,
that's the
maybe
point,
they
is
just
that
don't
they need
know.
help. And that's why I want to make it clear that when, if you don't fund it, if you want them to work on it, staff is willing to do that, but you have to understand that's what staff's going to do. And it may not be a very big project, but it's just another project I'm always using.
well, if staff finds time to do that, or later on, if we get a planner that's good, or we might could work with Julie Curry or something and see if she could do something along that line to help us with, or even a small amount of something, if that's something in her purview.
You know, I'd like to thank you for your consideration this evening.
Well, it's been a difficult thing trying to put this in
I
my
know.
mind, to try to do it one time, but I think,
Good luck on the one time.
well, I think that's gonna be, well, we'll be here next time and we'll talk about it, and if people say you did it before, we can say that was a one-time thing we did. Hopefully, our economic, times will improve by next year, and they may not. And if they don't, we can certainly look at our fund balance and see what we can do again. But I think that looking at what we have for the state balance and what they're doing to their budget, that's gonna be another thing that's terrible. If we can do one little thing for our citizens at this point.
I totally agree. And I thank you again.
Okay, it's 8:55, so let's go ahead and get on to the next item, discussion of CDO requirements. I've asked that we review this again. Back, when did we do this? A year ago? It has been under development and it was passed within the last year.
Effective April 1st of '08, adopted March 30th of '08.
Right, okay. We made rules and forms, et cetera, that groups that approach the town for money, nonprofits that approach the town for money, must fill out in order to be considered for the town to give money. My concern is that we made this overly stringent and did not take into consideration the fact that we have the only 4 501(c) organizations that we deal with presently. We approached them, asking them to provide service for us. They did not approach us for money. And that the forms that we are giving them to fill out, well, we only give them to two of these organizations. 2 of them do not get the forms. We wanted to go over a little bit of the information that council, for any council members who might not have their copy with them. Nonprofit application, 300 words or less narrative description of services to be provided to town funds. Requested amount of funding, why do residents of Summerfield need those services? How will the services be provided? Are similar services available in the town from other providers? If so, who currently provides the service? If so, what is the added value? So on. Items that we require them to, we would require a nonprofit to provide to us are complete signed and dated nonprofit applications, signed and dated assurance of town-assisted nonprofit agencies and organization, articles of incorporation, and corporate bylaws, roster of board members with terms specified, copies of official minutes of all board of directors meetings within the 12 months prior to the date of the funding. All minutes should include a list of the members present or those absent, copy of the IRS Form 1023, copy of most recent